Another Thursday morning and I ain't got no podcast and my computer ready to hit play. Well, how I wish I had some comedy to listen to. I need 'em my 2 days. Ready to download a month ago. Haven't heard another quickie since then. Don't know whether to blame Louise, Peachy, or Jacuzzi P, or the high cost of bandwidth. Oh, another Thursday morning, and I ain't got no DOT, and my computer ready to hit play. Well, how I wish that the noise wasn't cut out. I miss my 2 days.
Daves of Thunder is taped before a live studio audience.
Dave, 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 Dave. Dave, 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 Dave. Dave, Dave, and Dave. Dave, Dave, and Dave. David and Dave, Dave, David and Dave.
Hi and hello, podcasters. It's your old pal Dave Dameshek here. David Feeney there. Welcome to episode whatever of Daves of Thunder. What a show we've got lined up for you today. Before I say hello to Mr. Feeney, let me tell you or remind you to subscribe to the podcast, davesofthunder.com, or anywhere else you find podcasts. You can follow along and subscribe and watch us on YouTube. Daves of Thunder is how you do that. There's the Reddit page, so on and so forth. Like I say, big show coming at you. It's time for our semi-annual Internviews. We have the 2 finalists, Dan and DeWitt, waiting on the line. They'll listen throughout. I'm sure flop sweat has already begun for both of them. We'll get to that in just a little bit. First, though, post-Labor Day, autumn is essentially here. So, too, is football. Everything's coming up aces. How are you, David Feeney?
Oh, thanks for including me in the show. My God, you've been talking for 5 minutes.
I'm sorry to handle business.
That's not like you. It's not like you to handle business like that. And I love it. I love this new Dameshek. This is new September Dameshek. You've been pitching him since June. You've been promising him since June. September Dameshek. Wait till you see it. I'm glad I'm back on the show. I'm glad I'm talking to you. You look fantastic as always. Can we get a couple pieces of business? Speaking of business, out of the way.
I'd like that.
How's your father? What's going on with him?
You know what? I sense spiritually, he and Mo Dameshek are both, things are looking up ever so slightly for him. Thank you for asking. And how was your Labor Day weekend?
My Labor Day weekend was fantastic.
What'd you do?
Because you want to talk about the beach. I know you were at the sea all weekend, and great. I want to hear about that. It must be nice to have that kind of loop just hanging around during a pandemic. For me, it was this weekend. We spent a little time at the beach because my daughter had surf camp. She started surf camp. This little 5-year-old is on a surfboard, and so I'm thinking, of course, she's going to be afraid. Because guess who's never been on a surfboard in his life except to be on his belly, and that's Dave Feeney. That's her dad. But yet, what does this little girl do? She gets in the ocean. She's not even afraid at all. Not even afraid of shark. Not even afraid of jellyfish. She just gets up on that thing, and within 5-10 seconds, she's on her feet, and she's like shooting a curl. I've never been more proud in my life than of a little person. Just to be honored, it was just the greatest. It was just the greatest, and that was the high point of my. Your kids surf ever? Your kids surf the two older ones.
It's funny, but yes, I mean, that recalls for me. It's weird. I mean, surfing, a little 5-year-old girl getting up on a board is admirable stuff. Her courage and otherwise. I remember when little baby Oprah was just 2.5 or 3 years old. A more pedestrian act, but when she would jump into one of those bouncy houses, she didn't notice at all. She couldn't have cared less that she was the youngest kid in there by 2 or 5 years, whatever it was. Right. She just went in there and had a wonderful time, and it made me misty looking at her because she was just so fearless.
Yeah.
And it's also bittersweet because as you go along, you realize, the same things that happen to all of us are going to end up happening to them.
What does that mean? What are you talking about?
I hope I'm wrong.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're going to beat
self-doubt and that
beat the fearlessness out of her? Come on.
Am I going to? No, the world is going to.
It's your job to protect her, though. It's your job to protect her.
But guess what? Big life event upcoming this Saturday.
Oh, God.
Baby Oprah becomes a woman by Jewish law. Bat mitzvah coming up.
You're kidding.
I know. Even in the age of COVID, it's heartbreaking that it's going to be.
How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it?
Well, just a small
a virtual bat mitzvah.
Literally a half dozen of us are able to go to the ceremony. And by the way, it was not as though, obviously goes without saying with me, it's not like I'm a hardcore religious guy. I certainly didn't require her to go to Hebrew school or anything else. It's just something she decided she wanted to do. She
just said herself, "Daddy, I want to become a woman in the Jewish church."
She said I'd like to have a bat mitzvah, and I said, but that's going to require years of Hebrew school. I like that. I want to do that. So anyway,
good for her.
She's going to do that. It was great, but to answer,
can I ask what's the theme of the bat mitzvah going to be? Because I know yours was like the Pac-12 or something, like Pac-10. What was yours?
Oh, it was great. Well, no, unfortunately, heartbreaking. In fact, that she can't have a big party as is standard and everything else because of COVID. So her nice friends are going to watch her on Zoom, and that'll basically be that. And then we'll kick the party down the road to when she can get together. So I guess
that's the reason why I'm assuming I did not get an invitation.
That's correct.
Me and my wife and my daughter didn't get an invitation.
That's exactly right.
Do you think the reason why she wanted to get bat mitzvah is for the party? Because she was hoping for some sort of parent trap thing where you and Cindy get back together?
Probably. That makes sense.
Something like that.
Yeah,
well, congratulations. Hey, does that make you feel older? Your daughter's going to be a boy. That means she's 14?
13.
She's 13, going to be 14 next year. So wait a minute. Does that make you feel older? How do you feel about that?
No, it makes me remember my own. And of course, the passage of time and everything else. I guess it should hit me harder that this announces that I am old, that she's getting bat mitzvah. But I also remember my sister Debbie's bat mitzvah when I was a year older than she, and I had gotten bar mitzvah the year before, but in the same synagogue about an hour before the ceremony began, before many people had arrived. You know how a large enough synagogue, actually Tree of Life, which infamous from a year or so ago. But in that same temple, I went to the microphone. There was a microphone behind the stage, kind of, and I went onto the microphone and I said, "Debbie, this is God. Please don't screw this up." And the rabbi was unamused. The rabbi didn't. He didn't think that was a thing.
I wonder why. I wonder why he didn't like it. What about your parents? Did you score with your parents? You get in trouble? Did your mom hit you again?
Old Mo. She was tickled by that. She had to laugh. I think the old man was more conflicted about it, but I think it tickled old Mo. So that
you never really got in trouble though, right? You never really got in trouble growing up. I know you got hit a couple times. I know you got she put the wiffle ball bat to you. I've heard all those stories, and I don't want to hear them again.
No,
but you didn't really get in trouble. You didn't really get grounded. You had grass in the house. You didn't get grounded.
Yeah, that's right. I always forget about that. And as it turned out, remember when I told that in the Old Testament episodes, right?
I was there.
I once at college, right? That was a terrible deed on your part. You set me up. Because the premise was we're both going to call our moms and tell them something terrible about ourselves, confess something, and then it was your turn to do so. And your mother, you said, "Well, I'm not getting my mother on the phone."
Yeah.
That was terrible.
But I confessed to your mother, and she was amazing with me.
It was very.
She was amazing to me. Right. But how was the beach? So you were at the sea. Tell me all about it.
Listen,
keep it under 5 minutes though.
It was just it was heaven. To answer your question about surfing, no, you one up me. Your little girl one up my little boy, I guess, because Hoover Dameshek, like his older siblings, they love the boogie board. They love the boogie board, and now Jean-Claude Van Dameshek wants to start taking surf lessons, so he'll be thrilled to hear about his junior. Your little girl taking them himself. So that'll be great. So he wants to start doing that. But then Hoover started doing it and he just loved it. And I at one point, just unironically, he said, I said, look, you gotta, when you drift, sometimes you go down the shoreline. You got to make sure you stay in front of me and Mama here so we can see you right here the whole time. And he looked at me and wasn't cracking wise or anything. This little toe-headed, quintessential Southern California looking kid, longish blonde hair. He said, "Okay, I'm just trying to catch some good waves."
Yeah.
I love it. He didn't mean it as a bid or anything. That's sincerely.
That to me is great.
And then we did that all day. Then we made s'mores every night. What more could the kids ask for? So it was
one thing my daughter did say, and I have video of this when she was on like riding her third wave. She said she saw me and she said, "Daddy, the kahuna, it's the kahuna." And that comes from one person. That comes from Dave Dameshek. Because when you and I were in the beach back in Hawaii years ago, right after you almost ruined my wedding, and you were like, you kept saying, "It's the kahuna." So that's just something by road I say whenever there's water. When we were in Carpinteria a couple of weeks ago, it was the kahuna was every day, and I kept saying it over. So now she's saying the kahuna, which is really so you could die tomorrow. Although that would destroy me if you did. But you could die tomorrow, and that you've left your legacy. That's your legacy.
Oh well,
is the kahuna. One thing I did do also is that have you ever seen? Are you getting your haircut? You're getting your haircut still. Who's cutting your hair?
I've told you, I am the man who cuts my hair.
You always had the fancy NFL people cutting your hair.
That's right. Yeah, no, I've dispensed with the need.
Not no more.
I've dispensed with the need for that sort of stuff. Oh, thank you for reminding me of that. Extra points.
Geez,
Thrice weekly, and now -3 with Jeff Schwartz, both available to you wherever you find your podcast. Great stuff. Big event earlier in the week on this one in my keeper fantasy league with the big wigs in it with cousin Sal and Bill Simmons and John Hamm and all those guys. Big news. Boston Red Sox legend Freddie Lynn, Bill Simmons' favorite ball player growing up, announced that Bill Simmons was kicked out of our fantasy league. And so that was a big event. But anyway,
I know about this. I know about this. You and I were texting about this. I gave you that idea.
You did? You want to claim that one?
I did. I'm the one who gave you that idea. Do you not remember that at all?
No, you said what? Get Fred Lynn to kick out Bill Simmons.
No, I didn't say that.
Gary,
do you have the
Trot
text?
Nixon.
Gary, do you have the text messages to prove it? Hey, Gary, how are you, buddy?
I'm well, David Feeney. Thank you for asking. Yes, I do have
Donovan,
Gary,
let's see these. These are the text messages, people, that Dameshek and I went back and forth on last week. Gary and Donovan, Gary, you want to read? Take it off for a second. Gary, how do you want to read these? Gary and Donovan, do you want to read these?
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great.
Okay, so Gary and Donovan will play David Feeney and Dave Dameshek. And
Gary, you want to be me, and Donovan, you want to be Dameshek?
Sounds great.
Sure. All right, go for it.
All right.
I'm going to make you eat your words, buddy. You're eating your words.
Okay.
Blackjack.
What?
Wait a second. That doesn't sound anything like Feeney.
Keep going.
You got to sound Gary, please. You got to sound much more self-righteous.
I'm trying to come up with some of these interview questions for the interns.
All right.
So you said you wanted to contribute more. Thought maybe you had some you'd like to ask them.
Can't think about that now. I'm in major panic mode.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
If this is about Beth again, maybe better to call instead of text.
Not Beth this time, so we good.
What's up?
I'm kicking Bill Kill out of our fantasy league, and I don't have a fun way to do it. Any ideas?
Seriously?
What?
You won't come up with bits for our show, but you want help with a bit for Endzone?
Sorry for texting you.
You didn't text me. I texted you.
Excuse me.
Parentheses
Steve
best.
Martin.
Great stuff.
How sweet it is, Jackie Gleason.
Why are you doing this bit?
Did I do that? Steve Urkel.
Please stop. What do you have so far for Simmons?
You won't like it, Kid Hollywood.
Try me.
I do a Trump impression and say, "You're fired."
Don't do that.
How come?
Why not just do a British accent and say, "You are the weakest link"?
Yes, that's great.
No, I was kidding. Both of those are awful.
You got a better idea, Kid Hollywood?
Is Kid Hollywood your new thing this week?
LOL.
I don't know. Have someone he respects kick him out. Someone he looks up to. Like Larry Bird.
I don't know Larry Bird, genius.
I know, but is there someone on Cameo you can hire for a song? Like a Celtic or a Red Sox? Jim Rice or someone.
He loves Freddie Lynn.
Okay, there you go.
And he wore number 19, like COVID-19. It's the same number.
No, I got it.
Dynamite, J.J. Walker.
Then a couple days go by.
Uh-huh.
Sweetheart, did you have any questions for the interns you want me to put in?
Haven't had time.
How'd the Fred Lynn thing go?
Who told you about that?
Are you crazy? I told you to do that.
You said Rice. Rice would have been funny, so thanks for nothing.
Oh my God, I'll just do the questions. But real quick, how's your dad doing?
What do you care?
Beach
living, though, equals aces.
Hot take. Throw me a picture.
And the picture is of the homeless man looking through a barrel on the beach.
Who's that?
Your dad. LOL. LMFAO. ROTFL.
Great stuff.
Eat my shorts. Bart Simpson.
And that's the end of that. That's the end of the text message.
Oh, I was so drunk when I was texting. I completely forgot that was your idea.
You understand, though? You understand? This is why I save these things. I save everything. I want you to understand that.
In hindsight, I'm glad you did save it because that completely escaped my memory. Great idea. You did it again.
I'm glad you liked it. By the way,
Gator Greenwell could have been good too.
Gator Greenwell 39 would have been great. To have 39 on there would have been awesome. One last thing about surfing, I forgot to say. One thing that I showed my daughter was Batman. You've seen the old Batman Adam West, the TV series.
Sure.
Showed
it to my kids too. Yeah.
Have you seen the episode of Batman and the Joker in a surf contest?
Yes.
It's the greatest. It's the greatest because I'm sure we've talked about this before. He's like, "What do you think? We should put our baggies on, Joker?" So that's what they used to call swim trunks is baggies. They put the baggies on. And then they're out there, even though he's got the suit on and the utility belt, he's got a bathing suit on over it. So does Joker. Joker, of course, with the mustache under the makeup. And they're holding their surfboards. And so Batman goes, "What do you say? Let's go in the soup." That's what they used to call going in the water. You want to go in the soup? So they get in the water, and immediately they're on there, and they're surfing like you've never seen. And it's the worst green screen you've ever seen in your life. And they're doing these tricks, and people on the beach, Robin, but he's dressed as Dick Grayson's like, "Look at that! They're shooting the curl. They're bugging the whip. Like they're just all of these catchphrases you've never heard before." Then Batman is like, he does like a 360 on the board. And then what happened? Then he sees a shark, and he's got shark repellent and the utility belt, and he's spraying the shark, and he went. And it's just the best. And I showed it to my daughter, and it freaked her out for about 10 seconds that there were sharks in the water. She was like, "Oh no, I don't want to get in the water." But then it ended up being fine. That Batman episode is so good.
If you're following along on YouTube, you can see a still from that Feeney just referenced. It looks ridiculous. Yeah, Cesar Romero, who played the Joker, took the gig. With the asterisk that he wasn't losing the mustache.
Yeah.
It was disturbing as a kid. I didn't understand what was going on, but yeah, he had the white powder over that.
Yeah. Just the best. So, all right. So that's good. So now you got the other podcast going on. Your old man's on the mend, which is great. Your mom still misses me. You guys were at the beach for a couple days. Everything's coming up Dameshek.
Yeah, well, I suppose so. And most importantly of all, professionally, football season's here. So that's good stuff. How about you?
Who plays Thursday? Can I ask who plays Thursday?
It's the Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead.
In Arrowhead, okay. But what is that going to look like? You're in the know about this, but who's going to be in the stands? Is it going to be virtual fans like they do with the NBA, which is pretty great?
Nobody's.
What are they doing? No one's going to be in the stands.
Nobody's going to be out in the stands there. By the way, we don't need to talk about sports, but I mean, really, one of the
save that for the other podcast.
You're right. I don't want to bring it up. You know what? I will bring up to you though. Let's do something right now.
Please.
Win, play, show. I was thinking about this weekend. Gary is texting that there are fans at Arrowhead. Is it like 20% or whatever it is? Or
I think it's capped at like,
I
think it's capped at 12,000 or something. If what I read is correct.
Yeah, that's going to be weird. The assumption you keep thinking, like, oh, well, the Saints have such a home field advantage. Not when anybody's not in the joint. But Win, play, show after dipping myself into the sea, and I'm pleased to report it took me till September of 2020 to do it, but I finally took my bath and I just came out of the sea cleansed and clean and purified. So I feel terrific. Bodies of water. Go, David Feeney.
Tell me.
Ocean, lake, river, swimming pool, hot tub.
Hot tub is last on that list. It always will
Really?
be last on that list. I think
Why?
pool
I'm
is,
surprised by that.
don't like them. I can only be in there for a few minutes. It's fine for making love, I guess, but it's just kind of like after I'm in there for 5 minutes, I want to get out of there. It's just not. It's just not for me. I think what's underrated, and this is going to be my number one. You're not going to like this thing. The river.
River.
Swimming in a river is the best thing you've ever done. The best thing you've
Why?
ever done. Because I know you like the waves and all that stuff. The constant current on you is just spectacular. I'm kind of grouping brook in there with river because I did a lot of swimming in brooks growing up. That to me was just the best. It makes me think of home. I just loved it so much. I think after that, then I'd go ocean. Then I'd probably go pool. Then I go lake. Who cares about a lake? Lake's just lake's just a gross pool to me. And then I go with hot tub at the end. I'd probably go bathtub before hot tub. What do you think about that?
That's fine with me. I think the lake is, I feel like a lake is, you're absolutely right. There are no waves or anything, but that's kind of the point. It's very peaceful. And if you want some excitement, you get yourself a speedboat and then you start getting pulled behind it.
Speedboat.
That's good living.
Money to burn.
That's living when you're getting tugged behind the thing.
The ocean's living his aces, I know. Go ahead.
I'll go. No, listen. I asked you for yours,
but I'm gonna say it, as far as things that I take a dip in that I'll spend out. It's my wife's beautiful eyes.
Oh, good. I thought you were working blue for a second there.
I would never do that, but I could swim in those eyes for a lifetime, and that's what I want to do with my life.
And God willing, that's
my
what
lady.
you'll allow. Yeah,
just the best. And I'm glad you guys are no longer fighting. I'm glad you guys are no longer fighting. You know why?
Why is that?
Because I'm a big fan of your work.
Oh,
big fan of everything you've done. I know this is a milestone for you. Your daughter's becoming a woman, and then she's gone. She's gone in 3 years, and I know it's a big deal for you. Are you looking forward to that, or are you not looking forward to that?
What's that? When she leaves
the fact
the
that
house?
she goes to college finally. Are you looking forward to that, or are you ruining that day?
No, it'll be terrible.
She was just born. That chick was just born.
I know.
She was just born.
Oh, well, what's freaky is she still seems like a kid to me, but as you point out, she's 5 years away now. 5 years away.
Yeah,
from
she's
heading out.
She's in the back nine, as it were. She's on the 14th hole.
Yeah,
my God!
As we've discussed many times, who's the savvy player now? I created a sequel named The Two Little Ones. You see. Yeah, so the two older ones will go off, and
all according to the plan.
And then I'll look back and I'll see here we can see I got my backup plan ready to roll here. Hey,
do you have a backup plan to that backup plan?
No, but I mean I got
kid 5 and 6 are with another woman. That's not happening.
I got to get it going.
You just got married.
I don't know why that just made me think of Woody Allen, but I watched.
How so?
I don't know why, because I guess he's he's a quintessential sort of scumbag who kept on womanizing and kept trading down for a younger age
with his stepdaughter. Oof.
Have you ever seen Rosemary's Baby?
I have not seen Rosemary's Baby, and I was just talking about that today. That movie. That's amazing. You said that. No, I've never seen it. Never seen it. Polanski, because I'm obsessed with Chinatown now because I just read the Chinatown book.
I'd be fascinated for your review on that. We'll get to that at a later date. I'd love to bring up DeWitt and Dan now to get their quick review as a quick test. I don't think we should do that.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I think we can end on the intern thing. Do we have other business? Donovan, Gary, do we have business?
Yes, we do.
Is that all right with you, buddy? What do you want to? Whatever you want to do, Beard.
I think we should refer back to last week. I encourage you, Nate, demand you go back and listen to it. It was a nice, breezy summertime chat between pals. It really was a fun one. Hell
of a time.
I enjoyed that one immensely. But mixed in there was some longstanding heartbreak for David Feeney, and in fact, I told the kids about that while we were making s'mores one night.
What did you tell them? I
told them the story about what had happened.
San Francisco?
Yeah, because we were doing a little, sometimes I'll put the music on and we'll have a little dance party.
Okay.
And so we were doing that, and I said, and then I told the tale, and which was Cliff's Notes version. David Feeney was invited in 5th grade, 6th grade.
This is
right
5th
around
grade.
the time.
5th grade. I was 10
grade.
years old. 10 years old.
Footloose had come out recently.
That's right.
One of your female classmates decided to have a little small gathering, a little dance party over at her place. And you didn't know how to dance. And your mom took you to see Footloose. And then you guys practiced together for a couple of days.
So I can learn rhythm. I can learn music. And I can learn some steps.
It's just, it's very sweet. But it ends sadly because then she called you and told you
the day of the party, the night of the party, she called me.
Party's off. And then you found out the following Monday morning when you went to school, the party was on, just David Feeney was out.
Yeah, she just didn't want me to come anymore.
Then you went 20-some years later.
Devastating.
20-some years later, you see her. Her name is performing in a coffee house bar in San Francisco. You decide, I'm going to go and check this out. That got sideways. She didn't remember you really. She announced that she had a boyfriend. All the build
up to going there was like, I'm going to go there, and she's going to either say, I'm sorry for that party when we were 10 years old, or she's going to come up with, she's singing some song about me as the one who got away. I didn't know what it was going to be, but it was all storybook. It was all beautiful fiction in my head. Then I go there, I walk in, she sees me. She doesn't know what to make of me. And has no idea who I am. Has no memory of me whatsoever. And
do you really think she didn't know? Do you think?
Of course. Why would she remember it? No one's
because that was mean. I think.
But of course. But people are mean like that their whole lives. I know you are. But she was like, she's not insane like you and I are. Like, she doesn't remember these. So why would she remember such things?
Because it was mean spirited, and it maybe shaped the way she approached life afterward. But apparently not. And you thought maybe. Pie in the sky thinking in hindsight, but maybe she was going to be singing about you, the one that got away, the one that she pushed away, and could have danced the rest of her life with, but now you're lost in another woman's eyes and so on. Instead, she didn't remember you. So we said alternate reality.
Yeah.
We happen to have a musician non-parallel available to us. His name is Donovan. And we said, why not give David Feeney the song he wished he could have heard? He went off into his music lab and has crafted a song for you on his axe. Donovan, are you there?
Look at Donovan. Look at the curtain. You look great, buddy.
Hey, Feeney.
Hey, man.
I was thinking about what happened to you and Julia?
It was Julie. That's right.
Julie.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's heartbreaking. And I think you deserve the right song.
Okay.
And so I'd like to play for you the song that you should have heard when you walk.
I am positively giddy.
This is great. Donovan, this kind of works, too, in a real way, because Donovan weighs about as much as the average 5th grade girl. So go ahead.
All right. Thinking about the days when we were young. A party themed around Footloose. I told you that no boys were gonna come, and I've been crying since that day I lied to you. The years go by and you are everywhere in 3-piece suits at Hollywood premieres. But you're mostly in my dreams and the stories to my shrink. I've been thinking about you all these years.
Oh, wow.
I see your name on TV, making pages and money. To the boy who stayed home, dancing alone, would you make love on me? I was wrong. I was so wrong. And I totally remember who you are. I was wrong. So wrong. I see your name on TV, making pages and money. To the boy who was gone, dancing with his mom, Would you make love on me? Would you make love on me? Would you make love on me? Why don't you go plant a tree?
Oh!
I carve into it J plus D. Let's meet at the Mark Hopkins lobby. As I can't stop thinking about Feeney? Is that you? And that's it.
Whoa!
That's why the name of the band is Loxy. Who needs those other screw
That's the song you deserve.
Donovan, I can't believe it. If you were thank God we're doing this remote. If we were in the same studio, I'd be kissing you right now. That was absolutely. I need a rain check. That was absolutely amazing. That was absolutely amazing. It not only sounded great, your voice again melodious. It put me there. I was there, baby. I was there. All Gary needed to do was put the sounds of breaking plates behind you. People barking for soy lattes, and I would have been exactly there. That was extraordinary. And I don't know what to say except thank you for giving me that. Thank you for giving me that.
Of course,
it was a do-over. What do they call it in golf? Dameshek, a mulligan.
A mulligan, yeah.
You just gave me a mulligan.
A life mulligan, beautiful, and spot on across the board with the emotions and the facts. Only with one exception, you said wearing 3-piece suits and stuff to movie premieres. I happen to know that Feeney wore. It was a weird movie. Wore a black turtleneck with a medallion on the outside of it. I don't know why. That was his choice. But
I got teased by Richard and Matt. I got teased by all my friends who I invited to the premiere. You were there. Oh no, you didn't.
No. Also, it looked weird with the fedora, but I know you had things to cover, so that's fine. But anyway, let's not get deep in the weeds on this.
Are you mad I didn't invite you to that thing? Are you mad I didn't invite you? Dameshek, be honest. Be honest.
No, what I told you I wanted to do was get the invite to NOLA to join you out there on set, to be on location with you. Yeah, I would call back to California with whatever excuse, some lame excuse, and you and I would just stay there for a month. Because you were there in August, weren't you?
I was there in August. It was in August. It was so unbelievably humid and hot and muggy and awful there. It was really. Then we just go out in our white undershirts, our dirty undershirts, and we go out and we shoot pool and get beer drunk and get into fights for a month. Yeah. And it shapes us for the rest of our lives. So that's what you wanted. And then we would have opened up the detective agency. It would have been a whole thing. That's what you wanted. You didn't want to go to the premiere in Hollywood. That's fine.
No, I don't.
Well, Donovan, I don't know what to tell you except that was tremendous, and I'm now regretting all the conversations Dameshek and I had about letting you go.
Oh, are you calling him Jacuzzi Donovan now?
I would never do that. Because I would never dishonor either of those two men in that way.
Gary doesn't like that.
Gary don't like that either.
Gary, listen, I want you to be involved too today. What do we have from the BTLs and Monkeys? We got to get to these intern views already.
We'll get there. What is going on?
So we've got a few submissions. I'll outline them for you, and you guys can choose what order we go in. We have an email from our friend Yonders. He
comedy writer.
He says they're jokes. I think we'll be the judge of that.
All right, let's do that.
You want to do that? You want to do that first?
Let's try a couple out here. Get your gong ready, Feeney.
Well, how about I'll read them. Let me see if I can read these things. Let me read these. I'm sure Yonder. No, with all due respect, Donovan.
Okay, let me put them up here. One moment.
Some jokes I wrote over the summer. Okay. A new study shows that some cat medicines might work to fight against COVID. Finally, right-wing extremists are right. COVID precautions are for pussies. This week, J.K. Rowling returned her Kennedy Award over her transphobic tweets. The Kennedy Awards cast a spell. Transphoba erase it. All right, I didn't give the best reading of that. That was okay. French cops were scolded this week for telling female sunbathers to cover their breasts. But after a few hours of yelling, the cops say, "It my way." I don't get that one, Dameshek. What's that one?
I don't get that one.
Donald Trump Jr. called Joe Biden the Loch Ness Monster of the swamp this week. Unfortunately, before Don Jr. could finish, his brother Eric went running outside with a shotgun screaming, "Oh, the gold of Scotland!" Should we continue with these, buddy?
I'm a man of peace. You understand?
Dameshek, do you read the next one? Okay, there.
I don't have.
Read the next one.
If Fred Lynn, if I had him on speed dial, I might give him a call right now, if you know what I mean.
I want to thank you for that idea. I really do. Read the next one, buddy.
This week, a woman was shocked when her driver's license came back with a photo of an empty chair. That was nothing compared to the shock that came hours later when she found out she was, in fact, a vampire.
Stressed out elephants are going to be given CBD oil to help them chill and stop fighting. Once word got out, there was a line of white people with dreadlocks claiming to be upset elephants. Racial. I think you can ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Hit the gong.
I'm glad we led with that one first. Get that out of the way. John, just keep setting jokes. We love you. Gary, what's next?
Gary?
Well, we also have an email about the topic you guys were touching on last week, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or a song.
Well, how do we do another song this week? I don't know how we do.
I think that's disrespectful to Donovan.
I think we'll have to let's punt the song to next week. But what's the email? I'm dying to hear this.
Well, I will also say, Gary, before you give that, if you want to impress us with a song or take your best shot at it, or send us jokes or whatever's on your brain, Gary, let everybody know how to email us.
Yeah, sure. You can email us davesofthunder@gmail.com. You can also leave us a voicemail if you so desire, 812-682-0044. Or you can send us a tweet at DOT Podcast.
My personal favorite are the voicemails. But okay, so we have an email regarding Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Go ahead there.
Willy Wonka, Michelle. Yeah, go ahead.
Willy Wonka.
Dear Daves, on episode 135, you discussed at length how Grandpa Joe from Willy Wonka was a terrible person. Fact check? True. But you glossed over the fact that Charlie Bucket is a horrible little brat. The kid finds some money in the gutter. Rather than using it to help his destitute family have something other than slop for dinner, he goes out to buy what? A candy bar. Does he stop at one? No. He selfishly buys a second candy bar. Just because the little jerk happens to find a golden ticket is supposed to make this okay? The kid makes a horrible choice, and because he is just lucky enough to win the golden ticket lottery, we are supposed to forget that he sold out his family for candy. If this doesn't make Creep of the Week, then I don't know who should. Love the show. Been a fan since episode 1. Agreed that Apache Chief is the worst superhero ever. Started out in the Czech Republic, but now a card-carrying member of the Feedsters Union because Dameshek is way too sensitive when anyone takes Feeney's side. Plus,
I don't like that. I don't like any of that.
What's his name? What's this guy's name?
Plus, Feeney contributes way more to the show than Dameshek, who appears to be coasting these days. Love the show. Please. Love the show.
These days. I agree if you put the period after coasting. What do you mean these days?
What's
this is
name?
it, everybody. This is the bit.
Love the show, but please no more. Name that whatever it is. More tough questions with Jacuzzi Pete, Mark, and Madison.
Mark and Madison. Okay, well, that's great. Let's send him a T-shirt.
That's because he's a Badgers fan and he knows I'm a Hoosier.
There's always got to be another reason. It can't be the fact that you just stink sometimes. Hey, I know how I feel about this, but I want to hear your side of this first about Charlie Bucket.
What I'm realizing now, because you're more expert on pretty much all things movies. I
do okay.
It's interesting because I guess he makes the best person in the whole movie is Charlie, and if he's not our hero, the movie is without one then, because there are officially no good people in the entire movie, right?
Sure, okay.
Except for, ironically, Slugworth.
Right, who's not really Slugworth, obviously. Who's Mr. Jurgensen. The fact that Charlie decided to with that extra gold piece to get another candy bar. The kid's been working. The kid goes to school. The kid never has a decent bowl of soup in his belly. Never one decent meal in his belly. The guy goes to school. Then he delivers papers for 3 hours. Then comes home, does homework, and then goes to bed. The guy finds a little piece of gold. By the way, the last piece of gold he found, he bought his grandfather tobacco. So this kid thinks about everybody else. But for crying out loud, he can't get a little candy bar for himself? My Lord. Let him have a candy bar. Let him have some nougat. Can't get nougat.
I agree. And by the way, he is the grandchild there, so he doesn't really have a say in it. He's kind of jammed up by his mother's decision.
Right.
I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound. I mean, we don't know where Charlie's old man is, but he ain't around. We know that much. And yet his parents get to stay under that roof. I mean, you could say he passed at an untimely event, but still, grandparents. Who do you think her parents are?
Her parents are not. I mean, it's not Grandpa Joe. It's the other one. Her parents are the other ones, I think. I just, I never thought of that before. Where's Charlie's dad? Where is he? He must have taken a nap, right?
I mean, I suppose, right.
Do you think Charlie's mother dates? She's a washwoman. She's a char woman. I don't think she's dating at all.
Listen,
by the way, that's a great skit. The idea of she finally gets a date after all these years, and he's like, "Hey, why don't we go to your place?" And she can't because she's got 4 old people.
That is great.
In the bed, making in a bucket under the bed.
Hey, wanna come back to my place?
Okay, but we got to be quiet. Why do we got to be quiet? Your kid? Well, not just my kid. It's I got 4 people in a bed in the middle of the living room, combined age of 300. I don't know. That would be pretty bad. Cheer up, Charlie. So no, I don't fault him at all. Grandpa Joe obviously is the meanest character in the movie and perhaps in history. And if there were a sequel to this movie, other than Slugworth's Revenge, written by Dan Penny, what it would be Grandpa Joe clearly taking over the factory and killing Charlie. I mean, let's be honest. Charlie almost dies twice in that movie.
I think
Grandpa Joe.
I'd be interested to hear to see the follow-up of what happened to Veruca Salt and all the other kids and all that. But although you contend they might be dead.
I think that they probably not. That will probably happen because what does he say? He goes, they'll be fine, but they'll be a little wiser. I'm sure they're fine. He's a great character. Again, he's a great character. He's a really, really great character. All right, look at people chiming in. That's great. Donovan, you get another song, Donovan.
So we're gonna push.
That's all I had.
We're gonna push all songs.
Let's push that song because Donovan's song, you can't top that, and I can't wait to hear the song next week. I'm very excited about it.
He did it all, so let's get to it. All the hors d'oeuvres are out of the way. Here comes the main course. It is time for the semi-annual Internviews. We've boiled it down among the dozens of candidates to 2 finalists, DeWitt and Dan. Dan and DeWitt. It's yielded some a bit of a rivalry. I guess we shouldn't be surprised by it, as they both vie for the honor of serving as our.
They hate each other.
Yeah, I know, it's weird. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I get it though too, and in fact, I like the moxie both have shown in trying to put the other down. How do you want to start this out? Then we're gonna interview the both of them, right?
Yeah, we have a series of questions that you and I came up with. Also, help Chris Jones, our show historian, came up with some questions. To ask them about a whole range of things so we can see it. I guess we can go with either Dana DeWitt first. We have a different set of questions for each person.
Anton Chigurh. Do you want to Anton Chigurh it and flip a coin?
See, you call it Anton Chigurh, and what do I call it?
I don't know what.
I call it Brad Wesley because Brad Wesley did it first and did it better in Roadhouse. Don't give me that stuff. No Country for Old Men, a superior movie, but that whole move, that's all Brad Wesley. Head or tails, he says, and what happened? Then he gets his friend. His friend takes steel for it. Okay.
I think I would go, by the way. I thought we've discussed it before. I think that's in probably my top 25 scenes of all time when he's with the old man in the gas station.
Yeah. Right.
Because that is the largesse of the moment. You stand to lose everything. Right. And I, as we've discussed, I think the head or tail call is defines your perspective about life. What you say, head or tail. So
I completely agree. My favorite part of that scene, though, is how it starts, which is like he goes, "What do I owe you for the peanuts?" Like he's going to pay. This is a murderer who doesn't care, but he lives by a code. He's going to go there, pay for the peanuts. He's going to pay for the gas. Peanuts are 69 cents. And the gas is whatever it's going to be. And it getting rain up there, and then it's like, all hell breaks loose. But he was going to pay. It says a lot about him.
It's a great
It's
scene.
it's a great movie.
When they're talking about how they moved down here just a couple years ago to take over. I love it. But the tension throughout, it's a marvelous scene. Anyhow, all right, head or tail? You want to do it Brad Wesley style?
Yeah, you call it. Call it head or tail. You want to heads Dan, tails DeWitt?
Yes, do it that way. Yeah, Dan is first in alphabetical order over DeWitt. So yes.
All right, flip it, baby.
All right.
No, do you have no coins? All right.
I got it. It is a head.
Heads. Dan goes first. Do we have Dan on the line?
See, that seems appropriate. We're gonna go Dan first. Oh!
With the suit and tie.
He scores right out of the gate.
Extremely good. I see a B behind him. Who's that behind him over his left shoulder? Who is that?
That is a signed picture of Antonio Brown.
I don't believe it. And I like his voice too. Dan, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Feeney, Mr. Dameshek. It's an honor. And Mazel Tov to Baby Oprah, by the way.
Oh, why? Thank you, Dan. See, that's more pleasant, a more collegial tone than you've taken with me in the past.
Why, you guys don't like it? You guys have a history? What's going on?
Well, he's gone on and on about Feasters Union, this and that. You know,
you got to Dameshek. I just want you to respect yourself as
Mr.
much as
Dameshek.
I respect you. Sorry, Mr. Dameshek.
There you go.
I see.
And you did that this week. You stood up to Simmons.
Thank you. For
I'm
that.
very proud of you. And Mr. Feeney, it was a fantastic idea.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was and by the way, these things just come to me. They just come to me. There's no
It's
off
incredible.
switch. There's no off switch. And that's my curse.
Okay, shows up before he even utters a syllable. He makes the winning move of a suit and tie. Take that, DeWitt. It's almost
That's
unfair
great.
though, because DeWitt's listening as we speak, so he could be very well.
He better be scurrying. He better be trying to find a suit and tie as we speak. He better be just like running around his apartment.
Gary or Donovan, do you
I'm
have
assuming
eyes
apartment.
on DeWitt? Do you have eyes on DeWitt? Make sure he's not vacated his camera and is running off trying to doll himself up at the 11th hour here. I don't care for that if he is. And two, ass kissing right out of the gate. Two for two, Dan.
I like that a lot. So just tell me real quick, where are you from in Ohio?
Youngstown, Ohio.
Youngstown,
Dameshek,
Ohio.
you know where that is?
What do I know? Of course
I knew
I
you
know.
would.
It's 2
I knew
hours
you
away.
would. Yeah.
Youngstown State Penguins, the home of Cliff Stout and Ron Jaworski.
That's right, my alma mater. And Bernie Kosar went to my high school.
Wow, good for you. So close.
By the way, one little thing about Youngstown, when me and my old friend Tim, who then boycotted my wedding, and I'll never forgive him for it, when we drove across country, our first stop, we drove from Rhode Island to Youngstown, Ohio. We spent the night in Youngstown, Ohio. That was our
That's
first stop.
fantastic.
Wow, look at that. That was so many years ago.
Now I'm rooting for Dan because I always think it's just got to be the most frustrating thing. Like you must feel like the gods dealt you a bad hand because you're you're an hour and a half or so drive from the city of Champigny, and yet there is the barrier of the Ohio-Pennsylvania border between it. And so now you have to root for the Browns, which stinks.
I don't, though. My dad was bold enough when he went to Pitt in the 70s to say, screw this, I'm jumping on the Bradshaw bandwagon, and we're going to be Steelers fans. So that border means nothing to me.
Now you're starting to speak my language. Went to Pitt, did he? With Tony Dorsett and company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, keep on talking. I like the cut of this guy's jib feed.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, though. We have a strict set of questions we got to ask this man. Again, I'll say it again. Dameshek came up with some questions. Finally, he sent it to me the 11th hour, but he still came up with them. Came up with some questions. Chris Jones really came up with the most of these questions, the show historian. Decided to put them on paper. Gary will share them with us now. Let's see the table of contents. The intern interview questions. Section 1, get to know the interns. 2, show trivia. That's important. 3 is lists. 4 is what would you do? 5 is food and beverage.
Wow.
6 is hot pursuit. Chapter 7, pick on Donovan. And then chapter 8 is extra credit.
Okay. Wow.
So let's go first. Why don't we go to chapter 1, section 1, whatever it is. Get to know the interns. Dameshek, are you ready?
I am. Listen, I'm over the moon to get cracking on this.
Dan from Youngstown, are you ready?
I'm ready, Mr. Feeney.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Thank you very much. Go ahead. Question number 1. Feasters Union or Czech Republic? Let's just get that out of the way.
Feasters Union. Let's hit the next one.
Wow, you don't tell me how it is. Number 2. Where do you come down on pears?
They're just like a worse version of an apple. I'm not a fan.
Dameshek, what do you think about that? That's true. All right.
That's a thumbs up answer. What kind of self-esteem or low self-esteem must one have in a world that includes apples to choose a pear? It's weird.
Right.
You can see who came up with that question. Number 3.
Good test.
Should the Jesse James play have been called a touchdown?
It should have been called a touchdown. They should have. They need to go back and change history. AB should have been back on this team. That was the downfall of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's a shame. Whoever ref that game should be in the pen.
Not sure what this has to do with interning, but this is. I
want to know where he comes down on the important issues of the 21st century.
Save this for end zone. Number 4. Do you lift?
Not enough.
Dameshek, how do you feel about that answer?
I'm fine with it. Who am I to impugn somebody else when I don't do it myself?
Do you work out at all, Dan? What's going on with that? I want to know how much time you have to work out as opposed to how much time you have to work for us. You understand what I mean? This is an all hours of the night job.
I've become a slob in quarantine, and I plan to keep it that way. If I have this position, you're my first priority.
Yeah, we don't need
Above
any of
my
that.
health.
Like, I'll get to it when I get back from the gym, or let me get my 45-minute jazzercise session, and we don't have time for that.
No.
Okay, next question.
It's always Dave's time. Yes.
What is your favorite battle bot?
So many good ones to choose. It's I think I like the one that had the buzz saw. What was his name?
I think that was Vlad the Impaler.
Okay.
Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, he's a classic.
What was he like to work with, Dameshek, Vlad the Impaler?
Little salty, you know?
You were salty? Him versus, I'm going to ask you your own question. Him versus Gary Busey. Who would you work with again?
No bad answers there. Real thrilled to live the Hollywood life with both the BattleBots and with Gary Busey. Oscar nominee.
I like these in excellent.
So far, so good. Yeah.
So far, so good. This is great. Let's go to the next section. Section 2, show trivia. This is where let's see if he knows the show. He may know the men. Let's see if he knows the show. Go ahead. Question 1. What are the ingredients in a Shekwich?
It's a BLT, but with mustard instead of mayonnaise.
What kind of
spicy
mustard?
Brown?
No, Dijon. Spicy brown.
Oh, there's a smudge on my paper. It says Dijon. I misread that.
That's a next question.
What a boy. No quarter given by David Feeney.
What physical feature helped Dameshek earn his swim medals when he was a kid?
Oh, his trademark webbed feet.
That's correct.
They're known from coast to coast.
I know Dameshek could only afford to separate one of his feet. The other one is still webbed. Can we see it?
It's like a before after. I'd rather not. That's my personal business.
The Pacific was just treated to that site.
Yeah. Just Dameshek in a really fast circle, just going round and round because of his
creating whirlpools.
As Batman and Joker flew by on their boards.
In the soup. What do you say? In the soup? The best line. Question 3. Which installment of the Indiana Jones movies does Feeney think is terribly overrated? This is an important question. You need to know this.
Hold on. The Last Crusade?
What?
That's correct.
But nobody likes, what's the last one? Crystal Shard?
Crystal Skull we don't consider.
Yeah,
that's really an entry.
One, it doesn't
be
exist.
Overrated because it's like a 2 out of a 10.
People will go on and on about Last Crusade and, no jive policy applies here. I was one of those people, and about 15 years or so ago, David Feeney turned me around on that. And then when I watched it with my kids, it was just hot garbage. It was rubbish. He ruined the movie for me. It really,
if for no other reason,
lousy.
The Scottish act. He's doing a Scottish accent. If it's when does Indiana Jones do Scottish? Rich Little all of a sudden breaks into a Nazi castle. Question 4. In Dan Penny's letter to the Pittsburgh Pirates, he made several suggestions for alternate names of the team. Name 2 of those things.
Well, there was the Pittsburgh Baseball Club, which makes me think that Dan Penny also got in the ear of one Dan Snyder. Mm-hmm. And the Pittsburgh Vikings? Or
The Pittsburgh Vikings is incorrect. And by the way, it was the Pennsylvania Professional Baseball Club. It was something like that. And, the Pittsburgh Yinzers, that was one of them.
Steel City Pirates.
It was the the Steel
Iron City Pirates.
The Iron City Pirates was one of them. Again, no off switch. Question 5. So that's bad. That's bad. What did Dameshek do at Feeney's wedding to offend him, his family, and his guests?
Oh, you could. There are any number of.
There's a number of options here.
I mean, it was bad enough he's going on about your cocksmanship around Tinseltown, but doing it in the Sammy Davis voice just pushing it.
The Feeney man can.
It was really like that he did that a lot of one-eye jokes with Sammy, which I didn't think were tasteful, But also,
Feeney man takes whatever he takes all around the Tinseltown with the
the two other things he did, of course, other than the impression, the cocksmanship, stole a bunch of Gage. Bunch of Gage brownies.
I don't know what that means.
And also, and I didn't find out about this until I was finally. I was invited to his apartment back after the wedding. Just a closet full of Four Seasons towels that he took from the wedding. So I don't know.
Mr. Feeney, wasn't he also going up to bridesmaids and saying things like, "Hey, you ever seen BattleBots? You ever seen Football Geniuses?"
All right, this is. I think this is a -1. He's now overstepped. He's now over. He's now here to crack wise. Now
I think I like the cracking wise, but Dameshek, he's absolutely right. Now is not the time nor the place.
No, yeah.
So Gary, I hope you're keeping tallies. All right, what's on next? Oh, list. Oh, this is everyone's favorite. This is everyone's favorite. Dameshek, you have a part in this, as you know. Mm-hmm. Go down there, G Money. Dameshek will name a topic. You list as many things as you can under that topic in 30 seconds. Dameshek, come up with the topic.
Breakfast meats.
30 seconds, Gary. Start the clock. Ready, set, go.
Bacon, ham off the bone, Canadian bacon, sausage patties, sausage links, chorizo. I'm not a big meat for breakfast guy.
I don't give a good goddamn what you
steak. Are. You can get a steak for breakfast. You can get chopped patty.
Okay.
I don't know.
And that's time.
Okay.
So that was, by my count, Gary and Donovan, tell me if I'm wrong. I think that's 10. I think he came up with 10. I'm not sure what a chopped patty is, but I mean, I would rather call that 9.
I counted 7 only. Is that really? There were 10.
Is that right? Okay.
You left out corned beef hash. You could have gone bone-in ham. You could have gone with an andouille sausage. You could have gone, you could make do in a pinch. Nice, it's very nice, as a matter of fact, with an over-easy egg, linguiça. You could try that. And last question for you, Dan, on this subject is, which is the correct choice if both are made available to you? The sausage link or the sausage patty?
I think you're a patty guy, but I got to be honest. I like the link because I like dipping it in maple syrup.
No, you're right. The link is the only way. I don't know why anybody would ever eat a sausage patty.
And by the way, that's not a correct answer either. The answer would be, what does it matter what I think, Dave Dameshek, is what you think, and that's the correct answer.
Fair enough.
That would have been the correct answer.
That's right.
That would have been the correct. Again, overstepping. He's overstepping. Next section.
Did he even say bacon? Did you?
That was my first one.
That was the first one.
Bacon was up. Yeah. What this one's called? What do you do? Dameshek is participating in this one as well.
Okay.
Dameshek calls you at 4 a.m, demanding you tell him how handsome he is over and over until he falls asleep. What do you do?
Just take a soothing NPR tone and say, "You're handsome."
Let's act it out right. Let's act it right now.
All right,
Gary, hit the phone.
Dan, go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Dameshek. Is that you? What can I do for you?
Dan, I can't sleep. I got important business. I got to settle all the hash in the world when the sun rises. But I need my shut-eye. What am I to do?
The weight is on your shoulders. Well, let me lend a hand and try to carry some of your burden.
You don't know what a burden is. So you don't know what I have to do to carry Gary and Donovan and Feeney.
It's so much. It's so much.
Pretentious ass.
This is all I can offer. You're so handsome. You're so handsome. You're more handsome than Feeney. You're more handsome than Sal. You're more handsome than Charlotte Wilder. You're more handsome than Jeff Schwartz. You're more handsome than Strasser. You're more handsome than Corolla.
How about Tom Brady?
Oh, you're more handsome than Tom Brady. He looks like a freak.
And Jimmy Garoppolo, too?
Oh, you're more handsome than Jimmy Garoppolo. He wishes he had as many wives as you do.
How about Mario Lemieux?
It's close, but yeah, you're more handsome.
That was the wrong answer, but you're heading in the right direction.
And scene! That was amazing.
Very nice. Very nicely done.
Yeah, I saw Dameshek setting you up for that. The answer was clearly no one's more handsome than Mario Lemieux.
Right.
Always, always, always.
This side of Lemieux, though, most handsome man on the planet then, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was awesome. Next section. Food and beverage.
I'm excited for make fun of Donovan, but all right.
Food and beverage. Make Feeney a martini, then make Dameshek a steak. Tell me how you do it.
Well, Feeney's a gin man, so I would get a shaker. I'd put some ice in it. I'd put a little gin on top. I wouldn't shake it vigorously. I'd kind of stir it up real nice, get a nice chill going. Pour that into a glass, get 2 olives, a lemon twist, brandish it, just, circle that around the rim and serve it to you like that. Dameshek steak, high heat, minimal cooking. Get that thing medium rare, bloody and red. Just a little bit of seasoning, salt, pepper. That's all you really need.
How does he know?
That was extraordinary. The lemon thing, I didn't think that you'd get the lemon. The lemon's right. I didn't hear the word vermouth in there, but that's okay. I like half a finger of vermouth in there, but that's fine. That was pretty good. You would learn my way. You would learn Dameshek's way.
As a bartender, my way, and people always raved about my martinis. For the record, what you do is you put the you put the vermouth over the ice, and then with the strainer, you pour the vermouth right back out, and it's barely kissed the ice, which isn't going to make it into the final drink. A little bit of the gin or vodka will rub off on it, and it's the driest martini you could ever make.
Oh my God! I'm
writing all this down.
Now I'm thirsty. All right, that was pretty good. Next,
Dan with some respect, writing down my tips.
Hot Pursuit. Let's see what this is. Say 5 nice things about Hot Pursuit. Go.
Easy.
Poor Dan.
It was hilarious. 2 beautiful women, female-led actresses. And then I'm going to say this. Socially forward based on the female lead parts. Socially forward based on the Latinx representation. And number 5, which would be my top of the list, written by the great David Feeney.
Oh, that's fair.
That's a compliment in and of itself.
I feel like that. Can I say I feel like
my friend John Quaintance, who's a genius.
I feel like that was only really 3, but you know what? The ass kissing more than covered up for the rest of it. So well done.
That was pretty great. My favorite thing about Hot Pursuit, again, that all my friends are there to celebrate the night with me. Next section. This section, our favorite, called Pick on Donovan. Pick on Donovan. Donovan, you can show up here.
It's tough. He's a lot cuter in person, live on the stream, and he's got. I didn't
ask that. I asked to pick on him.
No, he's got the voice of an angel, but that's. I have to assume the balls have yet to drop. That was a little.
Oh. Keep going. There's 5 minutes on the clock. Go.
5 minutes. Did he have to get the house specially built so the cupboards weren't too high?
Oh.
I'm so sorry for this. He's just staring at me.
Yeah.
Did they build guitars like that small for children?
Oh.
They're called ukuleles. Yeah.
It's a draw.
Go ahead. You have one more.
Oh, one more.
Donovan's amazing.
I don't know. He wore a dog costume to Halloween.
That's it. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. That was great. Donovan, pick up your face, sir. How do you feel?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good picking.
That was pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good picking. Pretty good picking. That's what he says to his other guitar players on stage. Pretty good picking. Next section. Oh, this is for extra credit. Now, this is the section that we put in there. And by the way, we still have to get to DeWitt. But like the extra credit, this is from the new boss, Dameshek. This is something the new boss wants him to do. And so obviously we can pick whoever's going to pick tonight, but he has to do this extra credit. From the new boss. One of the skills you'll need as an intern is to pull video clips for social media. Since we've been doing video shows on YouTube for months now, pull together the funniest clip show, 2 minutes in length, and present it to us next week. Can you do that?
Done.
You can do that.
Absolutely.
I like his moxie. That obviously would be the nail in the coffin, as it were. That'd be the final exam. But Dameshek, how do you think he did?
How do I think he did? He disparaged me here and there. Kissed your ass, but good all the way through.
I liked it. I like the moon shining. I do.
I mean, he was spot on throughout. Got the pear one that trips up a lot of people because they call that the royal fruit, but it's not royal. You know, eat an apple any day.
Sure.
The meat question he did nicely on.
Martini.
Jesse James out of the
I like
park.
the martini one. I like
ripping on Donovan was a lot of fun. I mean,
the web toes. He remembered that, which was great. Indiana Jones' Last Crusade. That's a big one.
Nailed that one.
That's a big one.
Can I tell you something?
He did not do the Dan Penny letters. He didn't do that great. He didn't do that one great.
You know what? I'm conflict adverse, and I don't want if this is inappropriate, say so, David Feeney.
What?
I think we found our man. I don't think we.
What are you talking about? What about DeWitt?
I don't want to speak with DeWitt.
Wait a minute.
I just went through the emotional trial of having to kick somebody out of the fantasy league. Why do I want to disappoint either Dan or DeWitt?
Is this about? Can I ask you a question? Is this about 84 being behind his left shoulder? Is this about 84?
Well, that causes conflicted emotions for me as well to see number 84. I don't know. I don't want to play heartbreaker here, and I think Dan just went deep like Pop Stargell in Dodger Stadium, the only man to ever hit the ball out of Dodger Stadium twice. Don't ugh me. Don't you ugh me. I have one more question for you, Dan. Please. Why shouldn't we give you the job, and why should DeWitt get it instead?
You know, as Greg Oden once said, just because he's little, that don't make him tiny.
From We Too. From We
That's
Too.
From We Too, a Dan Penny picture.
Dan Penny's movie We Too.
Mean, that cinches it for me.
But what happens when an NBA falls in love with a little person?
Don't let me even see his face, Gary. I would just drop the line.
But guys,
Gary, how do you feel? Donovan, how do you feel? Because I'm half. I can't believe I'm saying this. So really, it's about a coin flip, really. Even though he aced the boards.
I feel bad. I mean, we went way out of our way to get DeWitt on the line. He's been listening this whole time, so he's toiling right now. He's got to be on the edge of his seat. I worry about what he'll do. I think it's unfair to just give it to Dan without giving DeWitt a chance.
Just say we had a bad connection and we lost it. Tell him there's he
can hear you. He can hear you.
Well,
Donovan, how did Donovan?
I don't have to look him in the eyes when I say this.
Donovan, how say you?
Gary, make like Julia and tell him the party's off. No guys are invited anymore.
It's Julie. Thank you.
I don't care.
Dan would have known that. It's the party's off. Why would you have to bring that up? You know what, Donovan? You're gonna have to sing it. You're gonna have to play.
But if we get Dan, the party's on. Don't you see? And on this time, you're invited to it, Feeney.
That's right.
All right. You know what? In a second, you'll talk in a second.
Overstep.
Okay, I'm with you.
Just cut the line. That's it. I don't want to.
I think you cut the line. I think that's it. Dan, congratulations. You are the 2020 Daves of Thunder intern.
You did it, Dan.
Thank you.
You did it.
Can we see DeWitt's face once?
I don't want to. It'll break my heart, and I don't want to do that. And
what I would love to do, is have Dan tell DeWitt that your services are no longer.
Dan. You know what, Dan?
Absolutely.
Why don't you do that?
Guys,
and when David Feeney wants somebody to go away, here you want more extra credit. You already got the gig, but just for fun, what does David Feeney like to say when he bids farewell to somebody?
Scramble 2.
Well, that's
right.
pretty good. Well,
That's
see,
right.
I was
That's
looking.
right. Right.
Take the bus, Sammy, or go screw.
Screw, right? I hate to win. Screw is what I was hoping.
This is some fan. Dan, congratulations.
Thank you.
Should we? And we'll, but here's the he doesn't have it quite yet. We need to see this project next week. That's what the boss
Okay.
needs. This is the boss. The boss needs to see. The boss needs to see it. But congratulations, man.
It's the dawn of a new day. You know what I think we do here? I think let's end the show. I don't think we have anywhere to go from here, but down. So let's just let Dan, instead of the standard Yub Nub song, let's have Dan do his best cover of it right now as we sign off here. So you do that.
Don't do that. How about can he sing along with it at least?
Yub Nub. He can do it. You'll do it, and that'll be it. And I don't need you. See, this is setting a bad precedent, Feeney. Dan is like our child now. I give him an instruction. He can't then turn around to you and say, "Do I really have to do that?"
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We have to provide a unified front to these people, or else they'll walk all over both of us.
I'm sorry. You know what? You're right. I'm wrong. To quote your text message earlier, excuse me.
All right. Great stuff. Great stuff, Gary.
Gary, he's pulling out eat my shorts on text messages. What have we done?
The grooming of Dan as my replacement begins next week, I'm assuming.
Oh my God. Don't tempt me.
Gary, a mensch as always. Thanks so much. Donovan, you outdid yourself. I think
hell of a song.
Maybe an MVP performance in the history of Daves of Thunder by Donovan. This was a top 3 performance by Donovan. Thanks to
hell of a song, hell of a time. Thanks again, fellas.
And standing in there while Nolan Ryan was throwing high heat at your head, you just stood there and took it like a man.
That was great. Didn't charge the man or nothing. Good for you.
Excellent. And so for David Feeney, Dave Dameshek, we'll talk to you next week. Thanks, BTLs and Monkeys. Make sure you subscribe wherever you find podcasts and/or at davesofthunder.com. Of course, subscribe on YouTube. And congratulations, tentatively, we'll put it in pencil, to Dan from Ohio.
I want that video by next week. I'm not kidding around. Time to go to work.
Will be done.
Then what a waste this whole thing was. But in the meantime, here's Dan with his cover of the Yub Nub song.
I want to say, I didn't just get an internship.
Slice of heaven.
I didn't just get an internship. I didn't just get a list on a resume today. I got a family. And with that, Yub Nub, sit the Yub Yub. Ba sit on the Yub Yub. And da
We are cooking with gas. Thin slice of heaven, everybody.